for writing that I found very useful was to dare to be bad. The first draft is always going to be clunky, difficult, overambitious. So dare to be bad, get it down, and then make it good in the second draft.
I'm writing and I get stuck. I put down my pen and go put on my running shoes and go for a run. And as I run, I don't necessarily try to think about writing, but usually my mind will drift all sorts of places and think about what I'm going to make for dinner and how my mosquito bites are itchy and all sorts of random stuff. And then I'll eventually get back to what I'm working on. And usually by the time I'm done running all sweaty and tired, I've come up with a solution to the problem.
The thing that has been most helpful to me in my writing is to aspire always for greatness, but surrender to mediocrity. Every time I've sat down to begin a short story or write a new book, whether it be a novel or a memoir, or even one of my Dear Sugar columns, I definitely have that feeling of, I want this to be the best thing I've ever written. I want this to be a beautiful piece of literature. But I find that trying to write out of that place, out of that ambition and desire, is very destructive. I can't face the empty computer screen when I've got that kind of pressure on me. And so it's really been helpful to me to acknowledge that that what I write might end up being actually very mediocre, and also that it's not for me to decide whether it is or not. That I can only sit and do the best work I can do, and I find entering that out of a place of humility, again with aspiring for greatness rather than really thinking that I'm going to achieve that, has been very constructive to me.
Unit 4, you're going to be writing about the personal essay. So you will be doing some pre-writing this week, and then your final essay will be due in March. So here we go. What do I need to know about writing personal essays? You're going to describe an experience so that the reader experiences the event alongside you. Lots of descriptive details. You need to make sure the reader sees, hears, feels, smells, and experiences that event vividly. Use either a chronological or topical organization. I give you 4 points here to remember about writing the personal essay. In addition to that, and I also give you an example here of what it looks like. You're going to read chapter 3, and again, by April 6th, The Glass Castle. The writing part of this week's assignments are as follows. You're going to do what's called 4 purposes on pages 77 through 83 of your text. Only choose one of these essays to explore, to explain, evaluate, and reflect. When you go to the textbook, this is explained. You're going to write a summary like you did before of chapter 3. You're going to do the pre-writing part of the personal essay this week, and that's explained right here. You're going to write your first draft. Now let me make sure that you understand this. It's not due until February 25th. So you have a little bit over a week and a half to write your first draft. I've given you a video to view about the personal essay. The discussion questions are here. Again, I have a PowerPoint presentation on Chapter 3, and then the weekly checklist. Okay, I'll talk to you later.